Howdy, partners. Go ahead and rustle you up some grub. Grab a seat next to the campfire. You can tie your horses up over there. I'm Adam Cantrell. As always, with me is my trusty companion,
Dalton Sipes.
Well, I ain't ever seen a cowpoke on this side of the tracks.
That's right.
We're back at it, gang.
We're back.
Another week in the books. Another grease trap on deck. That's been the theme here lately. We've had some togetherness.
Yeah, for sure.
Outside of the pod, believe it or not, we actually
hang out
outside of this. Shit, dude. Let's get into it. So, what do we get into starting off Saturday?
Yeah. So, I had a favor to ask of Mr. Adam Cantrell over here. The place we're getting married at, me and Marissa. It's a theater and they have concert poster boxes, whatever, so on and so forth. You get the idea. And we get to put what we want in there. So we wanted some sweet, shots of us to be able to do that with. I have this nice camera. We didn't really want to pay for someone to do that. He knows his way around a camera. Mm-hmm. And so I asked if he would do that for me. He agreed. And we scouted some locations. And really what's funny, dude, I thought about this. This is on the side note because these pictures turned out fucking incredible. They're really, really good. I damn near, if I want to think about it this way, if I want to frame it to myself this way, I damn near paid for that camera with that photo shoot. Because what it would have cost to pay a photographer to do that, because it was 4 hours long. We'll get to what we did, but it was a 4-hour shoot with tons of different locations and driving. And
I'm so far removed, I couldn't even tell you what the going rate would be for anything near that.
Not quite the camera. I'm kind of using hyperbole there, but it's
wedding gigs in general.
Yeah,
they get you by the boobies.
Yeah, but it's a ton of money.
There's gold in them hills.
I would say, having looked at this stuff recently, you know what I mean? Like when we booked our actual wedding photographer, I would say probably the cheapest you're going to be able to get a reputable photographer to do a 4-hour multi-location would be $1,500.
God,
damn. I'm talking minimum. Now, I also thought about this too so that's 4 hours of shooting, but I probably put in more than 4 hours
editing.
in Lightroom. So. And that's where people that don't edit anything or probably think they're getting ripped off by photographers and stuff because they think, whoa, they took an hour of pictures or whatever. Yeah, but they had to spend they spent more time that you didn't see getting the
way more time.
Yeah. So that's where that gets tricky. So yeah, it does on the surface seem like, damn, that's crazy hourly, but it's that's not even half the work, the actual act of taking the pictures. But yeah, and then also they got to pay for Lightroom and this and that, whatever. So we started, and obviously, our love for Waffle House on here. This is the one place I don't have to explain that. So we got dressed up in our nice formal fancy clothes and we went to the Waffle House that's by us and took some pictures on the outside. They're badass.
Just confused so many people that were hungover inside.
Because
the fuck is going on out there?
Because we were let's just do it. Let's just go up and do it. Fuck it. We'll be in and out anyways. I don't think they would have cared to begin with, but the pictures ended up great. And then from there is a guy in Loveland, Ohio, that built a medieval castle by himself. Just some eccentric dude. And he decided, hey, I'm going to build this castle. And it's not gigantic by any means, but it's cool. It's not small, certainly, but it's not like a castle you'd see in Scotland or something like that.
So did he live there, or did he just I want to build this?
Let's look, man.
Because it is neat, dude. And the fact that it's one thing to say, I think I'm going to build a castle. It's another thing to build the fucking castle in the greater Cincinnati area.
Yeah, it really not far from society in any way. So let's go here. It's Chateau La Roche, also known as the Loveland Castle, is a museum on the banks of the Little Miami River north of Loveland, Ohio. Built in the style of a medieval castle, construction began in 1927 by Harry D. Andrews. He built the castle on promotional plots of land that were obtained by paying for 1 year subscriptions to the Cincinnati Enquirer. That, like, all right, that's another thing. Like, how hard it is for, like, I'm getting ready to buy a house at some point here soon, and just the fact that all the shit I'm gonna have to go to basically leverage my life against it to be able to pay for it, and then this motherfucker pays for a 1 year subscription to goddamn the newspaper and gets some land in 1927.
And what he named? I was literally about to ask you that next.
Andrews named his castle after a military hospital in the Chateau de la Roche in southwest France, where he was stationed during the First World War. Its name means rock castle in French.
Oh, well, that makes so much sense.
For over 50 years, Andrews worked on his castle project. He pulled stones from the nearby Little Miami River, and when that supply was exhausted, molded bricks with cement in quart milk cartons. When Andrews died in 1981, he willed the castle to his Boy Scout troop, the Knights of the Golden Trail. The castle has been extensively upgraded. Okay, so it's in better shape than what he left it, and renovated in the years since Andrews' death, and has mostly been completed by those Boy Scouts. So
I wonder I wonder if the Boy Scouts are responsible for like all the shit in there, like the suits of armor,
probably.
The swords.
Probably.
I mean, it's decked out with a bunch of like stuff of the times. And one thing you're gonna get in the grease trap is a little French lesson. So Chateau de la Roche. Roche.
I said Roche, whatever.
So Roche means rock. Chateau means castle. I did not know that Chateau meant castle.
I actually did because of Chateau Ridge.
Well, yeah. Well, I was just like, oh, that's Castle Ridge.
This is interesting. The walls of the upstairs chapel feature many stones brought back by Andrews in his world travels, and others sent to him by foreign locations by his friends and followers. Recently completed are an expansion to the outside gardens and a greenhouse. Tales of the castle being haunted, often coming from the own volunteer Boy Scouts, have been reported over the years. Makes sense. Try to get a little answer into what was going on. That's cool. And I actually, I just got my own little history lesson, and that I personally find that very interesting.
Yeah, that's and fuck what you think, dude.
Yeah,
that shit's cool. I'd heard of it for a while, I think from you, and then people at work had been talking about it, and then to go there. I didn't realize it was like a whole thing that you could go in. I guess I didn't know what to expect.
So we had seen the signs for it just driving by. And one day when they weren't open, we were like, let's just drive by and see what's up. We didn't know what we just, we saw the signs. And then that's when we realized through also, Marissa saw like they do like wine stuff there. Like you can go to like a wine night, which we'll go do at some point. But
it's French.
It is. Hey man, it's French. But yeah, so we go to the castle, which you guys, as well as we, just learned about. And so very cool place to get some pictures. The lighting was really cool. The spots were cool. We got some really cool stuff there, and we were still like in our formal clothes. And so we were there for quite some time. And what's nice too, I even noticed this when I was just looking through all the pictures. Really, we didn't have to compete with many people for space. Like that place wasn't busy.
And like at worst, we were not even inconvenienced. Like there was like maybe 2 or 3 times where we just had to like step aside and let somebody just walk through.
Yeah,
so it's like snug.
Yeah, and we were mindful of, because we're not savages, and that's also a pet peeve of mine of people not knowing what the hell they're doing in public. I get that we're the ones doing the out of order shit.
Right.
So then we leave the castle, we come back here, we hop in Rue's car, and we go to a badass bar, dude.
I was telling Ernie about that bar, man. That was really cool, man.
Yeah, and so it's called Somerset Bar. Shout out.
Massive
footprint. And they have like different vibes for different rooms. So like that was like honestly probably one of the best locations we could have picked.
That's a great day drinking bar.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like with the day drinking,
sure.
With the greenhouse.
Absolutely. And like, cause there's an indoor component, there's an outdoor component. It just is all very cool. The drink I had was fire too, dude. That purple margarita, dude.
Yeah. I got some goddamn cum cleanser. It was fucking
it was
cucumber, fucking celery. Man, I don't know what I was thinking. I read the first 2 ingredients were like, the first 3 ingredients was like tequila, mezcal and agave. And I was like, cool, swug it. I was like, why does this taste like old cum? And I looked at I was like, oh, it's fucking celery.
I like cilantro, but it was very cilantro
was
heavy.
like in it.
I like cilantro, but it was very heavy.
Earthy, I guess. Earthy is the correct term.
But yeah, so
not a great choice, but good bar. That was on me.
Yeah,
I'll
be going back there. You're right. Day drinking is the play there, I think.
Yeah.
Plus also just having access to it.
And
not
it
being
seemed
packed.
like obviously it's an OTR, which OTR is set up weird because there are spots that are like gentrified and popping off.
And then there's spots
and
that are hood as hell.
And just run down and not like the buildings are like you'll have renovated shit and then you'll have like dumpy shit. And this seemed to have kind of been an oasis in an otherwise a bunch of abandoned buildings is what it looked like.
Yeah.
They might not have been abandoned, but I have a feeling that the Over the Rhine boat shop or whatever was not in
you are correct.
commission.
You are correct. It's funny. I forgot I saw that boat shop, but yeah. So then after Somerset, I had seen that Rheingeist was doing a record fair, and I figured that'd be a pretty cool spot to do that. So we went to Rheingeist. Used Kids Records was there. I bought this shirt off of them. This is a Used Kids shirt. And we looked through some records.
That logo's sweet, dude.
Yeah, it is. Got some pictures there. And then we went up to the rooftop, which is always cool.
Yeah, Rheingeist is just a cool, I mean, not to be the cliche Sensi boy, but they got a good thing going on there. Dude.
Well, so what, it's not like I go to Rheingeist all the time, but I agree with you. And here's why is they're just, that's why, because it is cliche Sensi because they've ingrained themselves in so deep. You want to talk about a footprint. Them motherfuckers, that thing is huge. They have that big ass tap room. And where you
can play cornhole in there. It's like so big.
Well, even when we were there earlier in the week to meet with our photographers, they were having a cornhole tournament, and I thought, I don't know how standard this would be, but bro, they had it was a league, and there was 16 cornhole boards, and they're all Rheingeist branded. So all those people got to do is show up and play. They don't got to bring nothing. I was like, damn, that's probably nice to do that. I need to go do it this winter. I've said every winter I'm going to do it so far and have not done it. They do a disc golf putting league down there as well. So
there's no reason for you not to do that.
I know. So, and it's just like a weeknight. So, I want to go get involved with that too this year.
Good for you, man.
But so they do a lot of shit. They have a lot of ways to bring you in. That's not just their beers. That then kind of stacks their business on top of itself. And it's just crazy. They don't even have their own food. They're just like, bring whatever you want. We're cool.
They've got a couple outside vendors that they let post up there. But yeah, if you want to bring your own shit, there's a Mikey's. I think the only Mikey's in Cincinnati is right up there. Yeah,
because it's right beside that Oddfellows liquor bar or whatever.
Yeah, it's connected. That's actually a sweet ass. They got a cool vibe in there, man.
But yeah, so we did the Rheingeist thing, rooftop pictures. Those are dope. The rooftop bar is cool. And then for the final stop, we came back here, and then we went to a dive favorite of ours, 20 Mile Tavern, which was intentional. We've been there a handful of times anyways. It's good. It's a good little dive bar, cheap, but they got darts pool, and we wanted those kind of pictures. And I knew, because we're talking, this is 3:30 p.m., and I wanted those pictures to be dark, and they don't let light inside of 20 Mile Tavern. It is exclusively dark in there. Which is cool. So we got those pics. Everything just turned out really sick. But yeah, in addition to that, it was fun. I had fun doing it.
I had a blast, dude. I was just getting trigger happy with that camera. Dude.
Yeah, well, in that 4 hours, I laughed because I took my camera to the bachelor party, and in my opinion, I was like, I took quite a few pictures there, and I took 600 something, maybe 700. I don't remember the exact number. And so when we go do a 4-hour session, I'm thinking, I was expecting to put my memory card in the computer and see 500, and it just goes 1,600. I go, I bet you we got some good stuff. And I ain't playing 75% of them were good. We pulled our favorites out of it, and it's 97.
Yeah.
And there's still plenty of other good pictures. It's just those are the ones we pulled to start deciding what we want to use.
I was channeling my inner Austin Powers. If I could turn back time, dude, I would have had you get a couple pictures of me in the fucking castle. I didn't even think about it.
For sure. I owe you some photo sessions for sure.
That'd be great.
Whatever.
Yeah, I was just getting trigger happy. And then another thing, I'm very amateur photographer or whatever. Like that might be the only photo shoot I've ever done. But I was like, oh, I'll get them in these moments where they're just like if you just rapid
And those
fire,
ended up kind of being the best ones.
Yeah.
So then we come back here, and Ruiner departs.
Yeah. So, got invited to a wedding, and I went as my dude, Fabricio, really good guy. He's helped me out with some shit. I help him out. He's an immigrant, man, Nicaragua. Him and his wife, Margarita. I know that family pretty well.
It sounds like you just made up two names to tell the story. Yeah, my dude.
I was debating on if I wanted to like omit their names, but like they're not watching this, and he can only speak a little bit of English. They're Spanish speaking. Last time I was around them, my Spanish speaking was a lot better. Mi español ya está empeorando. Man, it is getting worse by the fucking. It's getting worse. But they're like, dude, please come. It'd be an honor to have you. Da, 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 da. I said, all right, bet. So it gives me location, gives me the time, which it starts at 7. And so I get a wedding. It's like a video wedding invite. It was kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
No, it is. So, and then somehow, and he gave it to me like a month ago. Somehow, I think I was clearing space, and I kept our text messages, but that video disappeared. So I even asked him the day before. I go, what time is it starting again? He goes, 7:00. And then he even screenshotted an image of the address with the start time at 7. Yeah. So I'm fumbling around. I had to go back home, take another shower, get dressed. I was looking nice, dude. Had a nice pair of slacks on, had a suit jacket on, fancy little button up. I had a vibe going on. But I'm worried that I'm going to be getting there late, okay?
Sure.
Because it's a wedding, right? And it's 7:00 start time.
Yep.
Little do I know, because we were doing a lot of running around in your neck of the woods. Sizzle's like in the Mason area, and I'm kind of in like eastern, like Hyde Park, Oakley, Norwood-ish kind of area. So it's like, I don't know, like 20 minutes away. But I come back, and I'm only just a few minutes away from I'm like right down the street from 20 Mile Tavern where we shot the
last shots. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit, I'm like literally right back here. And I'm looking at that address, dude, and it's taken me. It says a weird thing. Google said there are 2 businesses in this address, which I don't see too many times. That might have been the first time I've ever seen.
I've seen it a bunch, but
one of them is an auto body shop. So I pull in there. There's like hardly any cars, and then there's just an unmarked white Sprinter van backing up, looking at me wildly confused. The driver is. So I'm like, well, this certainly can't be the spot. So then I kind of go around the corner, and I see a big building. I see it says The Lodge, and I see a bunch of cars there. And I go, oh, this is probably like a community center. But then I'm getting closer, and it says Rehabilitation Center. But
they're just there doing intervention on you.
And her sister and her daughter, they all work through this cleaning services that cleans different buildings. So I was like, oh, they probably clean this building, and we're able to rent out that was my next line of thought.
Yep.
So I park there. I get out. I'm fixing myself. I've got my card, and I'm just getting weird looks walking up the parking lot.
Nothing new.
And I'm just like, I'm just getting that voice in my head as I'm getting closer. I was like, I don't think I'm in the right spot, because it was this chick was walking towards me. I thought she was speaking in Spanish, but she wasn't. She was just yelling and cussing in English on her phone. And I thought about asking her, but I was like, dude, she is too fired up for me right now. She's liable to go off on me. So I do this thing where I start walking back and forth to my car. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm like, I just go, fuck. Yeah.
I would never do that. You'd never catch me. Then, I would either full send or get out.
Well, but because I'm just like curious. So then I've got the address on the maps, and it's like, it's showing me it is this auto body shop. So I said, fuck it. Walk across the yard, go back there. And as I get closer inside from the outside, I faintly hear a boom, boom, boom.
Yep, you're in the right spot. You hear that beat.
I was like, all right, I found it. And at this point, dude, we're talking, it's 5 till 7. I'm like, fuck, it's about showtime. Like, God, I'm like feeling guilty. I'm like thinking about what am I going to tell them for me being late or whatever, which I was just going to tell them the truth. I get in there, and it was as if like the old trope of the record stops playing, and then everybody looks at me, and it's Margarita's daughter, who I recognized me, was surprised to see me because I haven't seen her for so long. It's like a happy surprise. Like it wasn't a weird surprise. And then there's like 4 other like young Latina girls, and they're setting up in here. Like nothing's ready to go.
Right.
Fabricio, Margarita, nowhere to be found. Javier, her cousin, I work with him. I know because we were even talking about this at work. Like, hey, you're coming, right? And I'm like, well, what the shit? And so, like, I start talking to the daughter. And I'm like, hey, I go, am I in the right spot? Obviously, I am. I was like, I thought this started at 7. So I also didn't want to stay there all night. My plan was I was gonna come. It starts at 7. I was going to go through the ceremony, hang out for a little bit, but really, dude, I was trying to peace out at like 8, a little bit after 8.
Sure.
Because I'm the only English-speaking dude there. Not that that's a huge deal. They're beautiful people. I just get in my head because these same people, last time I spoke with them, I like kind of could hold my own in a Spanish conversation.
Right. You're alienated to some degree.
That's not the case now. And yeah, there's just been some time apart. It is what it is. So, and she's like, yeah, she goes, it was going to start at 7, but, it might not start until a little bit later. I'm like, all right, what's that mean? So I'm like, well, I'm not just going to stay. I'm just a sharply dressed gringo. I'm not going to hang out with these underage Latinas. And I was like, let me step out of it. It's fucking scorching hot for a fat, hairy boy in a goddamn suit coat. So I'm outside just sweating beans. I keep popping in. I nervously stand around. Nobody. Pop back out. And like my sports coat is getting wet, dude. That's how you know
you're in
if
trouble.
Sweat penetrated I got visible sweat stains on a sport coat, that's a bad look that I don't know that I've ever seen.
Dude, well, so the interjection, I went to a coworker's wedding one time, and I don't really know anybody there either. And they had their wedding in the summer in a greenhouse, dude. And I knew it was going to be hot, so I didn't wear a suit coat. But I wore like one of those like no iron dress shirts.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there through that ceremony. Just my whole focus was on just trying to reduce the amount I was sweating because I was a big boy too, right? And dude, I get out of there and I go, oh, it's probably not that bad. I go look at myself in the mirror, dude. After that ceremony, it was like I don't get like embarrassed. This is embarrassing. Full tit sweat.
Yeah.
Full back panel. I literally went and sat out in my car, took my shirt off, and held it up against the air conditioner.
I've done similar things.
And for like 15 minutes, and then I just kind of slyly walked back into the place.
Bro,
dude.
I'll tell you, a double-edged sword for a fat boy airing out them sweat stains is the hand. Have you ever used the hand dryer in a...
Fuck yeah!
But the double-edged sword is you're blowing hot heat on you.
I know.
But it's like
sometimes
dry.
it's got to be done.
It's like, and I'll hit my armpits up, and if I'm wearing a dark-colored shirt, I'm just caking that deodorant on there, bro.
So where I wouldn't have felt terribly bad is like I looked around on the way out, and I could tell that other people, like even... Like everybody was leaking a little bit.
Yeah.
It was hot. And also they're in a greenhouse. They didn't make that ceremony short. That motherfucker was like 35 minutes long.
Greenhouse.
Yeah.
Have some sense.
Had some sense. And so I'm like, okay, everybody else sweating too. Then I go in the bathroom. I was like, you look like you just poured a glass of water on your shirt.
Well, dude, I was about to say at a certain point, do you weigh the lesser of two evils? And do you just go ahead and just take your shirt off, put it in the sink, wet it all up so it's all dark, and just be like, nobody touch me. They'll just assume that this is a darker shade. Like, I can't let them know that this is sopping wet right now. But at least
more
now,
of my shirt was dark than light.
Yeah, that's
sure.
what I'm saying. So let's just say, hey, this is a dark red shirt. It's a dark whatever shirt. Don't touch me. I'm sopped right now.
Yeah.
What's the better? So what?
Basically, I did get my shirt dry. I went back in there, and that was another scenario. I left I went back into the reception, said what's up for 20 minutes and then dipped. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah. Oh no, dude, for sure. So I'm standing there. Meanwhile, they were already planning because they're drinking. We're all drinking during the photo shoot. And so they were going to plan to keep the party going. A new location of a local brewery, 50 West, opened literally.
Yes, very
can't
close.
Be 2 minutes. If you rewind the tapes, there was a story I told about about shitting my britches in the Home Depot.
Yeah.
And a worker threw it. That literally is right next to that. I drove right behind that Home Depot.
And so that they opened right up. So Woody,
it was their grand opening.
Yeah, it was
that day.
literally the grand opening that Saturday. Woody had texted me the day before, and me and Marissa, like, this was just a plan me and Marissa had. We were just like, hey, it's opening up by us. Let's go check it. So Woody texted me, asked if I wanted to play disc golf on Saturday. And I was like, I would love to, but I got this photo shoot thing going on. And then by the time that's over, we're going to this brewery for like dinner and drinks. And I was like, but you can come to the brewery. He's like, cool. So him and his woman came. So Runer leaves when he goes to sweat at the wedding. Woody and his woman come over here, and then us four go to the brewery. So we were already at the brewery by the time he is done at the wedding.
And that's another reason too, because it closed at 11. So I'm doing math. That's why I was like, I'll dip out after like an hour and a half. So the clock is ticking. It's getting closer to 7:30, and no sign on when they're coming in. So I'm just like, look, I think it would be worse off if like I leave as soon as they get there, because what I don't want to happen is then we get there at like 8 and then I'm like socially obligated to now be there, way late. So I pulled the trigger. I talked to Maciel. I said, look, I am so sorry. I gotta go. There was just a misunderstanding, and she understood. I said, here's a card. I gave him some money, man. I said, here's your card. I was here. You witnessed me. You had at least, so I was dressed up. I was ready to go. But the whole time I was like, I just want to be. I'm standing out there sweating, just knowing you boys are having a good old time.
Yeah, and bro, honestly, like, I get where you kind of feel bad.
I'm a few drinks in, so I want to keep it going.
I get where you like feel bad, but honestly, that is on them that they didn't have their wedding ready to go and start at that time. Well, it just is. Whether you want to be nice and say it or not.
Well, yeah.
From an outside perspective, I can tell you for sure that's on them.
That's what I talked myself into finally. But then I even talked with Woody's girlfriend Fanny, who's Guatemalan, and she's like, "Dude, don't you know that you got to add there's no on time." And I had just been so far removed from that, I had forgot. I knew that. Yeah. And I just forgot. So, but shame on me.
But yeah, so then
we linked up there.
Yeah,
luckily, I brought, and I did this before I realized how close it was, because originally I was going to go home, undress, redress.
That would have sucked.
It would have sucked. And so I was like, let me just take these with me. And so luckily I'm right down there. So I literally, like, I call Aaron, who I'm just like, hi, I'm venting to. I'm like, I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to let you have it, though. Yeah. This is what's going on. So I'm in that rehab parking lot, dude. People walk by. I'm fully in a suit. I'm like, I am getting naked in that parking lot. And then I'm like yelling at her because she's through my car and I'm outside my car. I'm like, it's bullshit. I was like, I tried. And I'm like, just like full on dress in that parking lot. And I was there in a couple minutes.
I've changed clothes in parking lots quite a bit because of disc golf, but it's like in parking lots, and they can, if anybody would see me, they would see I'm changing out of like dress-ish clothes into recretional clothes.
Yeah, I'm in a nursing home, high traffic parking lot.
Yeah.
Getting naked.
Yeah.
Copping charges.
But so we go to this brewery, and like I said, it is their grand opening. Fucking packed.
It is so packed.
Like, you cannot like, our plan was to eat dinner there, which we did, but they do just do like burgers and fries at the brewery. And we got me, Marissa, Woody, and Fanny got our food, and there was literally like one table of hundreds of tables available in this place when we got our food. So we ate it. And
such a massive complex.
And
like, to see it, the fact that there was only one table in that huge layout, like, shows you how packed.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. And I mean, but good for them. I mean, I'm sure half those people won't work there soon enough, but they had a ton of staff.
No, they did. And they got worked, and they handled it well. Like, there was no wait. Right.
Right. Yeah, there wasn't.
I was surprised.
Yeah. Our burger, like, there's shit tons of people ordering food, families, all this and that. And we order our food, I would say 15 minutes, which is fair, I think, for how many people they had. Yeah. And then, like, we had no problem getting beers at any point. And so, yeah, but we had fun, but they have sand volleyball there. And actually, Grease Trap fans, they have a pickleball court set up there. And me and this boy over here just signed up for a Tuesday night men's doubles pickleball league, the Grease Trappers.
Bring the heat, bring the meat. So, full disclosure, and like, I basically just knee jerk said, yeah, I'll do it. I haven't played pickleball in like well over a year, and I've only played like 4 games ever in my life. So at some point, we're just going to need to strategize. Need to brush up on the rules, and B, probably watch a few games on YouTube.
Yeah, we at a bare minimum.
Let's eat groceries one night and watch that.
Yeah, we can, and then like just for the sake of me explaining the rules in person, it'll be a little easier. We should probably, even if we don't play a full game against each other, because singles and doubles is a very different sport. But we can, like, you have to play the game differently. But we can go over some of that. But yeah, I thought about that. We should, because the people in this league are probably tryhards too. So I do enjoy pickleball. I don't really have a good way to play it right consistently. This gives me that. I also see it as just kind of an easy way, fun way to get some exercise once a week.
That was kind of my deciding factor.
It really wasn't that expensive to join the league either. And so when I texted him about it, even I was like, I know the chance of this is about 0, but what are the odds you want to do a pickleball league on Tuesday?
I just want us to win like one game, dude. Like, I feel like I'm going to be so goddamn bad.
Depending on, because so I'm not expecting to win the league. I'm not expecting to win any games. It just is going to depend on who we're playing out there. If it's real tryhards, we're not going to stand a chance. If we're playing against mediocre people, I think that I will be able to, throughout all the games we're going to play, I think that I can carry us to a win.
Hell yeah.
If we're playing a mediocre team, just like one night, I'll just be on it and I'll make no mistakes and it'll work. But
I believe in fashion over function. So if you were to look at me that first night, you ain't going to know that I have no idea what I'm doing, because I got them compression knee sleeves. I got the pickleball shoes from Head. These elite pickleball shoes. I got the Helix Elite fucking paddle, bro. I'm just decked out. I'm about to reach out to Northside Print Shop for some shirts. Side note, some point soonish, type in the Grease Trappers in our font and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just gonna make us 2 brown shirts with yellow, the Grease Trappers.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll rock them out.
I'm in.
I'm probably also gonna get a headband.
I wear headbands.
Yeah, I'll probably wear a headband
already. Yeah, because it keeps the sweat out of your eyes. And
remember the wristband, the sweatbands?
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. That would like.
When's the last time you wore a wrist sweatband? Because I know the last time I have.
I know the last time I have, and they were probably yours. I think it was you. You dressed up as the dude for one of the basketball dude from Will Ferrell.
Oh no, Boobs did.
Oh okay, yeah, Boobs did.
Boobs did, because then he left the bandana or the headband
at my apartment, and so those were at my apartment forever. And I don't know why. Just every once in a while, you just put them on because they're around.
So I kept the orange and white one. Jake Lindsay, if you are listening, hear me now, believe me later. But that was Julius Fontaine's. I had a character that I would do, Julius Fontaine. I would wear. I ended up. I think I still have that.
It probably I
think I still have Boobs. If you're listening, I still got that headband somewhere in my apartment. I'm sure.
Yeah. So that's probably the last time I put on like that sort of shit. Yeah.
Mine was YMCA basketball, dude. Because remember, whoever had your color on the other team, that's who you were teamed up against.
That is a forgotten thing. I forgot all about that. So yeah, what he's talking about is
youth basketball.
Youth basketball. You're little kids and. It was some wild ass basketball too, dude. But basically lawless basketball. But they they have 5 pairs of different colored wristbands, and they hand one to one kid on the other team, one to one kid on the other team. You put it on. You both have that color. Say it's green. Now you guys guard each other. Kind of genius.
The 2 fat kids are like, all right, you guys look like you're fat enough to take on each other.
You probably huff up and down the court at each other. You're good.
So that's coming up. Did 50 West.
I did have just a quick one from the sports world that's unique and very
lay it
cool.
on me, Daddy.
So there's a baseball player, a catcher. His name is Danny Jensen, and he is the first player in Major League Baseball history to bat for both teams that are playing the game in the same inning. He played for both teams in this game, and he batted for both of those teams in the same inning.
That is wild. Because I was about to say, I've heard of this guy before, but what I'm thinking of is the only guy to play 2 games in one day. He played 1 game through. Yeah. This is the opposing team, same game?
So same
How
game.
does that work out?
Yeah, it's literally has to be a perfect storm. That's why this doesn't happen. A perfect storm happened. So they were playing a game. He played for Toronto on June 26th, and he takes one pitch from the Boston starter, Cutter Crawford, in the second inning before they called the tarps out because of torrential rain. That game ended up being postponed because they didn't get far enough in the game for it to count. So they rescheduled that game for yesterday, I believe, August 27th. I'll get there. But then on July 27th, Jansen was traded from Toronto to Boston for 3 minor leaguers. So in between that rain out and reschedule, he got traded, and it just happened to be the guy that was at bat in the game. So then on Monday, so it would have been the 26th, my bad. A delay of 65 days, 18 hours, and 35 minutes. Pinch hitting for Danny Jansen was Dalton Varsho. And then with defensive changes, Danny Jansen was now the catcher.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Kind of a technicality type deal, but that's still fucking... I see what you mean about perfect storm.
Yeah, perfect storm. And then...
I tell you what, dude, I wish I would have brought about 4 more hams.
And then in the bottom half of that same second inning, he came up to bat with 2 outs, and he hit a line drive to first base to end the inning.
Dude, that's rad.
So that was just like that's like just a very cool little anomaly that, you know, most likely nobody will see again in a baseball game.
Ever. You know what I'm talking about, though? And I'm pretty sure it was the same day.
Yeah.
Some guy played a game.
And he got traded,
Got traded, flew in, and then same day played another game on the new team.
Yep. Yeah, that's happened before.
So, saw 2 movies. Saw Twisters. It's okay. Saw Borderlands. It's okay.
I wondered, because that's not a movie I would watch, but it's just gotten dragged on Reddit so hard.
Let me tell you something. Okay, this is what I tell Aaron. All right. Both movies were better than I thought they would be.
Okay.
Are they masterpieces? No. That's not what I'm arguing.
Sure.
Okay. People got to understand that shit should be graded somewhat on a weighted scale.
I wholeheartly agree with that. That like if you need me to take it out of the scale and put it on the grand scale, I can. But just my general ratings.
I'm not talking about grand scale.
Right. The thing here is you're not going to rate McDonald's compared to the most luxurious steakhouse you've ever been to.
Correct.
They're playing different games.
Correct.
You're not going to grade a high school baseball team against the Toronto Blue Jays. They're playing the same sport, but it's different caliber. Yeah.
So Twisters go in. And I just picture just a regular movie. Like the first movie was nothing to call home about, but it was fun. Me and Aaron go see that. And I tell you what, babe, that wasn't a bad movie at all. Like that was just fine.
Yeah.
Probably never see it again, but that was just fine for the movie going experience. Go to Borderlands. Now, here's where I will say I am familiar with the video games in that I know what they are. Boogs played the shit out of them.
That's the only thing I know is that they're cell shaded and Boogs smoked 1 million cigarettes and played it at my house.
But with that being said, I don't know, so I don't know how much of the hate, because it was a critical failure and like box office bomb. Like I think they budgeted like 120 plus million on it, got like 20 some million on it. So huge failure all the way around. People hating on it. But I wonder how much of the haters are just pissed because, they weren't true to the adaptation or they changed this one.
I think what might have fucked him.
What I'm saying, though?
I do. I think what might have fucked him, dude, is Books is the only dude I know that ever played that game. How popular is that? Was there a demand for that movie?
Correct. And I don't think anybody was asking for it except for this group of diehards, and that group of diehards is probably who's roaring the loudest on the internet. So for me, I went to see it because, as we've discussed, I just like going to the fucking movies.
You do.
I like seeing shit. I like eating groceries, going to the movies, getting a big old tub of corn, and just vibing.
Yep.
And I go in there kind of expecting to see a flop. And again, I don't think it's anywhere near the best movie, and even on a weighted scale, it's not like near a 10, but it was way better than I thought it would be, and it was a fun watch. I recommend check out Borderlands. Be your own critic. I thought that was just a fine movie, dude.
Fair, and that's interesting.
Yeah, check it out. Also, all right.
You just said that also so hard.
Also, I could see how hard I said it. So you might notice I don't have my usual Waffle House. It's because I'm trying to tap into my inner cowboy.
Yep, that's right.
Got the hams on deck. All right. Got the pork and beans in the can. I'm out singing Where the Buffalo Roam. So Sunday rolls around, and I hadn't eaten anything all day, and I kind of had a notion Saturday because we had been drinking. I was feeling right for the picking Saturday night. And I said, you know what? I got some errands to do. I had to do a bunch of shit, go to the groceries, do some laundry, do some cleaning, this, that, what have you. I was like, let's just chill on eating. And I said, about midday, let's go to Knockback Nats, and let's get us a mess of fucking chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Bring them back home. Let me put on some background noise to just face fuck these chicken wings. All right.
Yep.
Pull open Netflix. I go through these cycles. If I had to pick one streaming service that I use the most, I think YouTube, by and large, I probably use that more than any fucking thing ever.
Mine is 90% YouTube, 10% Disc Golf Network. Those are like the two things I watch.
Well, what I'll do on the paid subscriptions, like, 'cause, dude, I subscribe to like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO, and like
we got them all.
Amazon
Marissa
Prime.
uses them all, but I don't.
So, but like, I'll go through cycles. Like, dude, I am on a Netflix revival. I kind of hadn't watched Netflix at all for fucking ever. So I've been I choose Netflix. I was like, certainly there's going to be something. I see a recommended for you, top 10. Wyatt Earp and the war against Cowboys, or the Cowboy War. It's a 6-part documentary series. So my interest is piqued. So I throw it on. I'm chowing down, and I'll be fucking dipped if I don't just get enthralled by that. I'm talking first episode. I was telling you a little bit about it. Everybody at work I've recommended it to has watched it, and they've gotten into it. I made some notes because this is what I do.
Side note, it's crazy how easy it is to recommend like a show or something to somebody and then they go watch it versus how hard it is to get me to watch something.
Dude, that's the same thing. Same way I am.
Like, well, you watch a lot more shit than I do in general, but like I in general just like don't really take recommendations for like to watch stuff from people.
There's very few people that I would, and even then it's like I'll get around to it eventually. But yeah, I kind of do my own thing.
Yeah.
So, Tombstone, Arizona, 1881. 40 years after the great gold rush up San Francisco way. There's silver in them hills down there in Tombstone.
All right.
Arizona territory.
Okay.
All right. A lot of silver. So what you guys might have seen the 90s cowboy movie with Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Tombstone.
I have not.
Bro, that's a top 10 of mine. You have to watch that.
I don't take recommendations.
That and, dude, trust me, that and Sling Blade
I've seen Sling Blade.
might be the two most quotable movies. Well, the Tombstone might be the most quotable
What
movie.
about Falling Down, dude?
Oh, fuck. Falling Down is a niche. Falling Down did not age well. Bro, Falling Down. I love Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
I haven't seen it since we were kids.
Brother, let me tell you, that one didn't age well. But
I'll have to rewatch it to see why not.
Watch it through the lens
Because
of
I don't
today.
really remember much about it. I remember the premise, but
It's
I
a
don't remember
pissed
much.
off white guy. Talking, just screaming at minorities the whole time.
Damn, that's funny.
All right, just that's the short version. Does not age
All
well.
I remember is he got like fired from his job.
Fucking love it.
And,
Yeah.
like that's the part that I remember.
They open up his briefcase. He's got like a banana and an apple. In
Yeah.
Okay. So, what you don't know about Tombstone, okay, is it's kind of unique to other Western towns for the time because of that silver. They had money. So you've got like bookstores, you got library, you got theater.
You have education
You've
and
got
entertainment.
you have got a town for all intents and
a
purposes.
society.
You have a nice society. Keep in mind, around this time, 1881, when was Ohio a thing? In the
1801, I think. 1803? I got to look that up now.
So Ohio was already kind of getting going. I think I seen Newtown outside of Cincinnati is like 1790 something. So we're still getting established. Arizona's not a state.
1803.
It's a territory. Okay.
Admitted to the Union anyway.
This also is, okay. So then 1881, you're looking at it. That's around when the shootout, when people hear about Wyatt Earp and shit. And then in the movie Tombstone, you hear about the shootout at the OK Corral. Okay. That was like the 1880s. So this is like I forget how many years after, but the Civil War had just ended not too long before this. And one thing the documentary does, like they touch on that and talk about the times, but especially towards the later episodes, I'm not going to spoil anything too much. But I don't know how much of an impact that had on the Western front. I'm sure it had
Civil War ended in 1865.
So yeah, and then we're talking 1881 is when this shit in Tombstone's happening.
So 16 years, yeah.
So what would happen is we got all this silver here.
In Arizona.
In Arizona. We got to get it to New York. We got to get it to Chicago.
To sell it to jewelers and shit, probably, right?
But yeah, let me backpedal a little bit. Same deal with cattle. Okay. Cattle, beef, super cheap. Texas, Arizona, very expensive and high demand in like Chicago.
Don't got anywhere to grow it.
So cowboys, what they would do is, so these cattle farmers
just get gigantic herds.
Well, dude, these cattle farmers would make a pretty penny selling to Chicago. And then you would get some people just being nefarious, like just stealing cattle to sell.
Sure.
But then like there's like this crazy drought, and a lot of these fellers are struggling, like their cattle are dying, they're not thriving. Mm-hmm. So they're like, fuck, I need money to keep my shit going. I'm gonna steal your fucking cows, boy. And that's what makes me a cowboy.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
So they were kind of, you think of cowboys, you think of like the good guys, or they were the outlaws, dude.
No, so I did kind of know that cowboys had an outlaw kind of thing.
And you could tell them, I found this out by the documentary, you could tell because they would wear the band that goes around?
Yeah.
It was snakeskin. It's like one of the
why when you said that, I literally just can't help myself and just think Kyle Steed, dude. Just
say, hell yeah, brother. He'd be rude and attitude.
Just out there with that snakeskin band around his cowboy
like he was rustling that damn snake after the Red Bull.
Yeah, see, maybe that's why.
That's probably why. So anyway, so then they're getting robbed. All right. So to get the silver, okay, J.P. Morgan over there in New York.
Yep.
He's like,
familiar with him.
He's like, give me some of this silver. Wells Fargo.
Yep.
There was two dudes, last name Wells, one last name Fargo, hence Wells Fargo.
And they started in the West.
They started in the West. What they would do is they would transport silver and gold.
I knew that. I knew that. Yes, I knew that.
And so then through the natural way shit works, their stagecoaches were getting robbed.
Yep.
This presents a massive problem for
J.P. Morgan. Yeah.
So he's like, man, what is a secure way I can start getting this silver from there to here? Railroads exist.
Yeah, they would.
But they are crackety, unreliable. He goes, how can I fix? He's like, I know what the infrastructure of the railways has to be.
Right.
I know it, but I can't change anything until I own it. I need to own
the railroad
so I can make it run but that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes across the pond in Merry Old England, London.
Yeah.
So this shit that was happening in Tombstone, they're hearing about it in real time, which is kind of crazy for the time in London. Because they got telegraphs.
Yeah,
okay?
for sure.
So he goes in London. He's like, hey, dude, I need some fucking money, but I'm going to hit it back. The U.S. dollar is about to be backed by silver. Okay. I need some startup cash. Well, all right, we just got out of the Civil War, nation divided. All right.
Yep.
And so he's like, you guys are fledgling. Americans were kind of still being looked down upon.
Right.
Because in Rothschild's defense over there in London, he's like, I don't know if I'm comfortable giving you all this money for
it's
a
volatile
startup.
Money. Yeah.
It's very volatile. So there's a subplot where J.P. Morgan's working his magic in London.
Yep.
Let me side note right there. The transatlantic
cable.
What is it? Telegram or what's that?
Yeah, telegraph.
Telegraph. There's a cable
that runs under the sea.
Under the sea.
Absolutely.
Under the sea, bro. Take a guess on when that transatlantic cable was put across.
I believe it's literally around 1900.
1840s.
Oh, okay.
1850s. Okay. How?
The will. If there's a will, there's a way, baby.
To get under. How? From New York to England.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you just put sinkers on it and hope it goes down? Or how?
I would assume, I don't know how they did it. I would assume you probably do weight it down and then
fucking hell. And I
mean,
think
they
I remember
had divers.
I think I remember stuff you should know about really rudimentary diving tanks. I don't remember.
Yeah.
They don't really go. The documentary's not about that, but that's a piece of it. They had my wheels turn. So how cool is that? So they're getting shit.
Now there's there's plenty of like fiberglass cables that run.
So yes, there are. That telegraph cable still gets used for data and telephone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, telegraph, super antiquated.
Absolutely. It's a hard project that's already done, and it's there.
Exactly. Laid the groundwork for shit to come, internet, all that fun stuff. Anyway, so Wyatt Earp's been known. He's been doing his thing fucking wherever. So he comes to Tombstone, and he's deputized. You got a sheriff that's kind of in cahoots with
the crime,
and long story. And so who's leading this posse of outlaws is this feller named Ike Clanton, the coward Ike Clanton.
Never heard of him, actually.
Well, what's crazy about that is the movie Tombstone is basically the only knowledge I had of this shit back in the day. And Ike Clanton plays a very small, to even say it's a secondary role to Curly Bill. Curly Bill is the main...
Don't know Curly Bill either.
You gonna find out, boy. So Curly Bill is like the main antagonist of the movie Tombstone.
Yeah.
And his right-hand man...
His
right-hand man is Johnny Ringo. And you got Ike Clanton, who's...
Johnny Ringo sounds like a guy that could be part of my crew, dude.
Dude, he's something, dude. I'd be careful with him. His wits match that of Doc Holliday until Doc Holliday took him down. But anyway, so Ike Clanton is like kind of like wrote off in the movie Tombstone. Like they do highlight that he's a coward and a bitch. And there's like one part that they got right, and it was at the shootout, which he instigated. And then he was unarmed, so he pleads for his life. Like, I'm unarmed. And he's like the only one in his crew that didn't die for some shit that he started, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
How funny is it, like, that people go down, like, there are people in history that go down in, like, their legacies. Bro, he's just a bitch.
But, dude, put a pin in that, because that's a point.
Okay.
So that main cowboy clan is the Clanton McLaury gang. So you got Ike Clanton, his soft-spoken brother Billy. They got their dad was Old Man Clanton. He did some shit during the Civil War. Then you got the McLaury boys.
Okay.
Shootout at OK Corral. Both Lowry boys died. Ike Clanton's brother died, and some other folk.
Okay.
I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, Ike runs this town. He's braggadocious. I can't be stopped. This, that, and the other. White's trying to put a stop to it. I'm not gonna. I could take fucking hours trying to explain.
Sure.
But essentially, there's some back and forth litigious shit that goes on. They're taking him to court, trying him, this, that, and the other. The OK Corral happens, the shootout at the OK Corral, because they go, here's the deal, Ike Clanton, just leave.
Just get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out. But see, he is like from Tombstone. Like that's
born
his
and raised, yeah.
So he gets out there and he's like, I ain't going out. I'm about to fucking kill Wyatt Earp, and I'm about to Wide Burp. That's what they call me. I'm about to kill Wide Burp and all them motherfuckers. You got Wyatt Earp, and you got his brother Morgan, and his which is younger. You got his older brother Virgil. You got his boy Doc Holliday. You just have to watch the documentary to get a picture on all these. Doc Holliday was a badass.
Doc Holliday's just his friend, though, not actually
his friend, dude. But you gotta watch his. Doc Holliday's a fucking badass, dude.
Okay.
Like you will. Dalton Joseph Sykes would love.
Doc Holliday.
At the very least, the idea of Doc Holliday. So some random guy's like coming out, pulling on his pajamas, about to tend to the silver mine, and he hears that going on. So word is spreading through the town, like, dude, Ike's fucking about to roll on you.
Yeah.
So fucking the Earps are like,
fuck you, boy.
So we come, and they're trying to end things peacefully. And so it's like a stare down, and they're like, don't fucking do it. And then like Ike's brother like pulls out, and then it's just a shootout. Like they're taking shots, and then everybody gets wiped out except Ike. They go to trial, and White's he murdered him, and Wyatt's found like he was just doing this job. What Ike Clanton does, which is he starts this smear campaign, which you want to talk about history repeating itself.
I think you literally just said campaign instead of campaign.
There was some pain in that cum. All right. So he pays for so it was the two McLaury brothers and his brother that died.
Yep.
He pays for these caskets. You can see these pictures online. He pays for these caskets. and they're open and you could see them, and they said killed in Tombstone. So he starts swaying the public opinion of these are cops abusing their power. We were minding our own business. Wyatt Earp's coming around saying he's going to kill us, and we were trying to leave. So he's spinning the narrative. Public's buying into that. So word is getting back. Word is getting back. So there's another trial happen. So now Wyatt Earp is getting tried for this. And so people are sending reporters. Meanwhile, JP Morgan, Rothschild, they're like, what the fuck is going on, over there? And so.
And JP Morgan's like, fuck, I just need that time to chill.
So, yes. And so, dude, long story, there is so much back and forth, okay? But I keep spinning the narrative. They keep going. There's different, I surely can't go into this whole history.
Sure.
But more shit happens, back and forth, back and forth. Increasingly, the public is like, he's a fucking murderer. Newspaper
talking about Wyatt Earp.
We're talking about Wyatt Earp. Newspaper articles across the country are like, fucking Wyatt Earp, assassin, taking the law into his own hands. Wells Fargo starts funding. They go, no, because again, he's helping them stop crime. All these stagecoaches getting run. And so they're the ones hold your horses, guys. He's the good guy. So anyway, this keeps going on. Then there's fucking.
It's going to come down to who's got the most money to spin the narrative.
Well, dude, I'm glad you said that, because there's a point I'm going to bring up. So it all culminates, and this part's in the movie Tombstone, where Ike's finally like, I'm done. I'm about to get these motherfuckers. Okay. So he fucking ambushes Virgil, tries to kill him, gets lit up with bullets in 1881, survives.
This is Ike.
Ike claimed to not be a part of it. His hat was found at the scene of the crime. It was like 4 of them. It's his posse. At the very least, it was Ike's posse. Ike was like, couldn't have been me. I was over the river in Charleston. Okay. Again, there's so much back and forth. Right. Ike is just throwing tails, and like he knows that the newspapers are picking this up, so he's intentionally like giving them headline quotes. Sure. So Virgil survives. So in a couple more days pass. Boom, Morgan, the younger brother, dies, dude. And this finally sets Wyatt up. So if you look, the last episode touches on this, but there's this thing called the Wyatt Earp Vendetta Ride, where he's like, dude, justice, he's been let down time and time again by justice. His boss, the sheriff, is crooked. He knows it. Everybody knows it. He's in bed with the Cowboys. So he's like, I am going to fucking kill every one of Ike's men.
So what's fucked up is I've been listening to this story. He took way too goddamn long. I'd have done that shit a long time ago.
So what you got to understand, Wyatt Earp, and as far
you can only be fucked with so much.
As far as I know, until the OK Corral had not killed a man. He was kind of like Batman, where he was like, I'm not going to kill justice. He was but he's getting torn throughout this whole thing.
Because he's just getting wrecked, and he's getting fucked with.
And he's going through, and like Wyatt Earp starts kind of going over the line, like saying like fucking like there's some dude that was like, I just hold horses for the guys. I don't know what's going on. He's like, boom, motherfucker. Boom, boom, boom. Okay.
You got associated with wrong
So
dude.
then finally Ike's like, God damn, fucking Wyatt's going around like a madman. He's like, fuck that. So then the Cowboy. So it's like, dude, it's very much reminiscent of the divide right now in Tombstone. And then the whole Arizona territory. If you're an Earp supporter, you're hung by trees with an Earp supporter sign on. He's killing people and so then Rothschild's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You got this. You got police officers abusing their power. That was a big thing. You hear that a lot lately, right? This is like one of the first instances of police officers abusing their power.
We got video now, though.
And again, keep that in mind. And then you got like what? And so like everybody's saying like the reason like Ike is doing so well in the court, and like there's a lot of, as much credit as Wyatt got, Ike won a lot of cases and got out of a lot of shit because he was just bold-faced lying and I forget what I was going to say, but like
he had money too.
He's spinning his fucking narrative, and he's swaying public opinion. So finally, Rothschild's like, dude, you got this crazy lawman just going around. You've got all this shit. It's about to be a civil war again, because what Ike was doing now is, because a lot of the Cowboy supporters are poor, lower class. They're people that got fucked over during the Civil War from the South. Wyatt Earp and all them are from New York. They're the fucking Yankees. So then they spin this because that wound has not even started to heal yet.
Sure.
So they're creating that divide. They're like, you got a country torn down. So Wells
Funny how easy it really is to manipulate people in the public opinion.
Dude, so Wells Fargo finally gets, and they've been backing Wyatt, and they were just like, dude, stop. They were like, what are you? He's like, I ain't stopping until Ike Clanton's fucking dead. And anyway, so there's it's super cool. All JP Morgan was trying to do is get this railroad bill. This shit's going. I thought it was mind blowing that they're in London finding out what's happening in the Arizona territory.
Yeah.
Chester Arthur, president at the time, finally hit his shit. He has to do something. So he's like, let's send the Rangers down. We're going to bust up these Cowboys. Anyway, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Check it out. Look it up. I say all that to say that as I'm watching this, I can't help. You've heard of Wyatt Earp before.
Absolutely.
American hero. Cowboy.
Yeah.
So as I'm watching this documentary,
I've heard of Doc Holliday,
tell you my
too.
point. I tell you the point I forgot.
Yeah.
They're saying that Ike Clanton is threatening these witnesses. All these witnesses are going against Wyatt, and they're like, oh, it's because Ike Clanton's but it's time and time again. So I'm sitting there thinking like, how much of that is true? We only know what we know. I was like, how many witnesses is he? What if this entire fucking time
what we got is basically all fake?
Wyatt Earp is the fucking asshole, and Ike Clanton and Wyatt Earp's just another asshole cop abusing his power. And then they hit us. I had that thought. Then they're like, Wells Fargo's paying money to spend this. I go, well, how much money did they spend? Because we're seeing history being manipulated in real time. Imagine how much easier it would be, and we don't know what the fuck was going on
without how much easier it'd be, because like people at least now, if they care to, where it gets tricky is people actually have to know what a real news source is, because people can go verify it against a news source that they think is real, and like that's all just gotten so muddy to people. It's really not that hard if you got two fucking brain cells to rub together, but back then. They have no frame of reference. All they can believe is what they're being told. And I don't know, obviously, what that happened. I'm inclined to think Wells Fargo probably has enough money to control the narrative.
Yeah. So I'm leaning, because Ike Clanton, Corn Pop was a bad dude. Okay. Like he's definitely behind these stagecoach robberies. But how much is lost in the sauce? How good of a guy was Wyatt Earp? You know what I mean?
Right. And like the American hero, America needs to have those, especially at the time.
Yeah, dude. I think that's all the notes I wanted to hit on that. But then I come up with a fucking premise for a movie, dude. And I'm still there's a couple different angles I could work.
Yep.
Tombstone, 1981. 100 years after the events of the OK Corral and the Wild West.
Yep.
But still 40 years ago, still very much a period piece. Okay.
Yep.
Here's the premise, dude. Ike Clanton was the good guy. All right.
Okay.
Nobody believes him in that town.
Yeah.
His great grandson, Jake Clanton.
That's a little too many greats for
whatever.
For 100 years, but
great.
Why just great?
His great grandson Jacob Clanton, Jake Clanton, still very much involved with the community. All right.
Yep.
Donates, volunteers his time. Just a good old boy. And then he also is like trying to like do this thing where he's like, man, I don't think my family name is as tarnished as it was. And everybody loves him, dude.
Right.
Everybody loves what Jake Clanton's got. I mean, 100 years have passed since that.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit. He's a good guy.
So Wyatt Earp, I think he ended his days near Colorado. He ended up just dipping out. He went to Colorado.
Okay.
So then I'm thinking his fucking great something grandson comes back. Fucking whoever Earp. Matty Earp.
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody just fucking loves him, and he is just a fucking bully.
And just a douchebag.
So think of like a Coen Brothers-esque movie. Like I'm thinking of
concept.
I'm thinking of Jake Clanton, kind of like Zach Galifianakis in The Campaign. If you remember that Will Ferrell movie,
I saw that.
He was kind of like that. So he's like kind of this lovable fucking dude. Like I don't want it to be over the top comedy, but it can be. But I also want to shoot it like a Western,
right?
Like, but it's not a Western,
it's like
modern. It's a modern Western. So, and then like Wyatt Earp is just, and like he fucking wins the local election, and then maybe finally Jake Clanton finds a way to prove that happens.
That's a good concept.
I don't know. Rough concept, dude. The other side of that is same idea, except the Clantons are, fucking dickheads, and then this Wyatt Earp's descendant comes back to tomb. Maybe he's like there visiting because of his family's sake or whatever. And then he's got a buddy that's not really related to Doc Holliday, but plays a Doc Holliday role.
Right.
It's like kind of a buddy thing. And I don't know. I think you could fucking work with that, dude, and make a goddamn banger. But Tombstone 1981 or Clanton versus Earp.
I like the first concept better, but they're both good.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I had more of that. This Hams is going against me, but that was the idea. Like, it all started because I'm sitting there thinking, like, we only know what we think we know because of history, especially back then. And then knowing that Wells Fargo backed that narrative, and it's proven they were putting money on these articles saying, no, Wyatt Earp's a good guy. What if he wasn't, dude? We don't fucking know.
Yep.
And so then I just kind of spun that idea, and I don't know. I was rolling with it.
I like it. I really do think that's a good concept.
But that's Cowboy Talk. Okay. So I think shit was interesting back then, man.
Sure. Yeah, it was. I
got this weird obsession for cowboys. I don't know what the fuck it is.
My butthole would have killed me at the age of 18. I would have made it very long.
Oh, dude, my eyesight, like maybe in the West they had like crazy glasses and shit like that around then. I mean, Benny Frank with some shit like
in the West they had glasses, I think. I can see to my hand, so I'd have been all right.
That would be my biggest thing is I'm done. I can't see. I can't survive. I trip. I fall down a goddamn fucking mine shaft. Mr. Magoo myself into a mine shaft.
Speaking of buttholes, you ready for your Would You Rather?
Yeah, dude, lay it on me.
All right. This one comes from Gordon, a friend and fan of the podcast.
Friend of the pod.
Marissa, you're going to hate this one. So if you hate it, blame Gordon, not me. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm sweating, dude. These hams are getting
you and Ernie are the subjects, and me and Marissa are the subjects in mine. But
okay.
You both have just terrible mud butt. One of you has to lick the hole of the other one. Who you choosing? I know my answer. I knew at the moment Gordon texted it to me. So my answer won't change, so I'm not going to tell you mine because I already know.
Because, dude.
For the audio listeners, his face just went crazy.
Oh, mama, dude. Whew. I feel like as a gentleman. As a gentleman, I need to shave everything. Shave everything. I need to get hopped up on so much ketamine. I don't know where my body actually is. And I just need to say, babe, spread them. I cannot, in good faith, make my poor, sweet little angel baby do that to me.
I have the same answer, and mine is just because I don't think I'd necessarily need to protect myself with ketamine and all this that. I will recover from that. I will recover. She ain't.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
I have the strength to pull my life up from the ashes.
Babe, I'm sorry, but I think my asshole's probably grosser and just same. I think I have the testicular fortitude. It might take me a little. You're going to bounce back quicker than me.
I'll bounce back quicker.
You can actually dissociate without the need of anything.
That's right.
I need to medically dissociate.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, dude. Damn, fuck you, Gordon.
Yeah,
dude, that's gross.
I know. That's what we get for asking for fan
Don't
submitted
talk
ones.
about my precious angel's poopy butt. Whatever you do. That's gross. I'm sorry, Aaron. That's fucking gross. I have no idea. Cool. So had some cowboy talk. Had some weekend fun.
Yeah.
Got some weekend fun coming up.
Well, yeah, I think we'll just keep it a secret. We'll go into what happened, how we got there, what we're doing. Now we've done it. Here's what happened.
Yeah,
there
say less. I got you. I agree. All right. Well, With that being said, Cowboy Talk has come to a close. That's a Grease Trap episode 26 in the books, baby. So if you are watching this right now, you are obviously on our YouTube channel. Check it out. We're on IG. We're on TikTok at the.grease.trap. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your. Oh, is that the noise you'd make if I'm licking your asshole clean? Because I ain't gonna be making that noise. I'll be weeping. Anywhere you get your podcast, it's on there. Email us at
the grease trap at ohiobroadcasting.com. The reason I was laughing, I was thinking about just the kind of sagging my butthole, my cheeks to be it'd be like over
thought
your
of that
forehead.
too. I'm the Oogie Boogie man just resting. Let me tell you this. You keep my girlfriend's asshole and his fiance's asshole out of our inbox. All right, I guess double for you, Gordon. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Anybody else, anything, any topic else, shoot us a would you rather or gripe. If I fucked up something on
you did make Runa uncomfortable though. That's hard.
That's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
Cowboy Talk. Did I leave something out? Are you enthralled? Go check out the White Earp documentary. Let me plug that one because Netflix doesn't have enough money. Check that out. Let us know what you thought of that. I don't know. Anything I'm forgetting?
No, that's it. That's it.
Pretty much it.
Come back for episode 27.
Yeah, we stay greasy. Come back here whenever you're ready to get your grease on. But until that point, just keep watching the skies. Hold your loved ones tight. Slurp down a couple Hams beers. Get yourself some Waffle House waffles. And we'll be right here waiting for you.
That's right.
Stay greasy. Get your grease on, partner.